Welcome flight simmers, I'm the Cockpit printer, and in today's video I will create a template for a potentiometer that we are able to dim the backlight of our panel we built in the last episode. Let's go right into Autodesk Fusion and design this little template. Okay, let's create the template for our potentiometer. For this, now I'm using already a finished design of the potentiometer. I won't design it separately. You will find this data file on my Patreon channel. It's free for everybody. Just head over to my Patreon page. The link is in the description. And in there's a potentiometer and a zip file with the STEP data file in there. And the step file, the extension is either STEP or just STP. And the step file is a very common data format for transferring data between several computer-aided design software. And now I'll show you how to use it. It's very simple in Fusion. Just download the zip file and extract it. Then go to File, Open, browse to your directory and open it. And there is the potentiometer. And just save it to your parts folder. The location here is my YouTube, and the parts, there's already the target switch, and save it to potentiometer and save it. Now let's create a new document and simply go to your parts directory and drag in the potentiometer. Hit OK. And now we have to place this potentiometer in my design file. For this, I'm creating some planes as a reference. Let's start with -2 millimeters. And this is the bottom face of my top panel. Another one, -10 millimeters. It's the upper face of my bottom component. You can see it slightly in here. And there is a second one. And one more, -20. And this is the bottom surface of my bottom component of the panel. Let's create a sketch on the middle plane, the top plane of my bottom component, and just create a circle as a construction line. Finish the sketch. And now I'm creating a joint. Go to joint, select this lower circle and this construction circle. And now drag the potentiometer 2 millimeters downwards, that we have 2 millimeters of material to clamp on this potentiometer. Hit OK. And now the potentiometer is in place. Next, I'm about to create the cut body we use to do the cutout in the top and the bottom component. For this, simply create a new component, name it cut, create a sketch on this upper face, go to create, project and project, project these 3 faces, create an extrusion with all 3 profiles, all the way down. Now there's one profile missing. This one. Next, let's add this little boss in the middle. Just drag it 2 millimeters upwards. And this circle even more, 20 millimeters. That should be enough. Now I want to have this body a little bit bigger than the original potentiometer, just to have some space in the panel. And for this, I'm using the press pull. Select these 3 faces and drag it 0.25 millimeters outwards. Then do the same with this one, but here I'm adding 3 millimeters, or let's say 5. The reason behind this is that here are the connectors, the pins of the potentiometer, and I want to have some additional space in here. That's the reason why I drag it 5 millimeters and do another press pull to these 4 faces and this one of the cylinder and drag it 0.25. And this is the cut body. We will add some more to it later, but now just disable it, make it invisible. It's still unsaved. Let's do this next. Go to Save, browse to your templates folder. Now there's already one potentiometer. Okay, next, let's design the knob on top. For this, create a new component, name it knob, create a sketch from either the right side or the left side, it doesn't matter. Let's create some lines. First, just a center line, construction line, and some more lines, just a profile of my knob. Something like this. Let's add some dimensions. Millimeter over here, 2 millimeters in thickness. To get this horizontal line to the same height of the origin, just use a horizontal constraint. It doesn't work right now. Let's try a coincident. No, that works. The height is 50 millimeters. This one is 6. And this is 4. And on this side, I don't want to have a rectangular shape. I want to have it in a slight angle or in a slight curve. For this, I'm creating an arc, a 3-point arc. The first point, the second point, and now I'm able to open up the arc. For now, just like this. Create another construction line vertically to this point. And create a tangent constraint between this arc and the construction line. And this is a really nice profile of my potentiometer knob. Now there are still one dimension missing, this one. Finish the sketch. Let's create a body with a revolve. Now I'm not able to select the profile because I haven't closed the profile. Here it's just the construction line in the middle. Close the gap over here. And now you can already see in the preview, it's highlighted in blue. It's a closed profile. Now we are able to revolve this profile around our middle axis. And here is our knob. I don't want to have this smooth surface. I want to have some grooves in there. Let's do this next. For this, I will create a sketch on this face over here. Just, okay, there is, first I have to create a construction line in the middle and project this curve, create a circle on the intersection. And now it's the construction line, doesn't matter, just select it and change the line type with a diameter of 1 millimeter. Let's go back to the first sketch in our profile. And here I will create another arc. Just create an arc, 3-point, but now a little bit upwards. Make it equal to this one. And here is the center of the first one. We can do a concentric constraint we haven't used before. But just select the two arcs, and now the center points are on one single spot. We just need this little extension over here. You will see in a minute. Just 2 millimeters, it's enough. And let's have a look on a function we haven't used before. And it's really nice to do some grooves, like in this rotary knob. It's a sweep. And the sweep, you can already see in the preview that a profile is dragged around a curve or a path. Select a profile. It's our circle over here, and our path is this arc. And now this profile is dragged all the way to the end of my path. And that's the reason why I extended it a little bit. Set the operation to cut. And here is our groove. Add a fillet to the edges. 0.5. And now we need some more of these grooves. I could either create more profiles and path contours, but I'm a little bit lazy. Just go to create and create a pattern, a circular pattern. Object type is features. And with features, I'm able to select some features from our timeline. The sweep, press the control key and select the fillet. Select the axis. It's this cylinder. Now it's creating 3 of these grooves. Let's set it to 15, to 14, 30. Then the fillets are completely created over here in this region. Hit OK. And here are all the grooves. Create a fillet on this contour, 0.5. Another one on this edge, 0.5 as well. And a little chamfer on the lower side. Okay. Just to have a reference where our current position of the knob is, I want to add a little arrow on this bottom surface. For this, create a sketch on the surface. Create a construction line in the middle. And one line. I'm not able to select it directly. Just create a projected geometry. This and this. $9mm. Create an extrusion. Okay, that's the reason why I wasn't able to select the profile. Okay, but it's a nice opportunity to have a look on our sketch planes. I've selected the wrong plane for my sketch. I haven't selected this upper face. I selected another one. I'm not sure which one I selected, but it doesn't matter. I can either delete the sketch and create another one, or simply go right click and redefine the sketch plane. And now I'm selecting this one. And as you can see, the whole sketch moves up to this position. And here's my profile. And now I'm able to do the extrusion. Negative 0.5. And here is my little arrow as an indicator. All right. I have to limit the travel of my potentiometer. The potentiometer I'm using has a limit or a total travel of 330 degrees, I guess, but I want to limit it to 240. And for this, I'm creating a little notch on the knob. Create construction line. And this little notch profile over here. Add a symmetric constraint. $3mm in width. And from the center, it's 8mm. Do an extrusion all the way down. Add a fillet, 1mm, and a chamfer on this face of 0.25. And rename the body to knob and change the appearance to ABS white. And now we have created our knob for the potentiometer. And now I'm adding a little bit more to my cut body, because I have to do the cutout of 240 degrees from my top component of the panel. And that's what I'm doing right now. For this, I'm creating a sketch on the global potentiometer component, because this sketch I want to use several times. Okay, now it's the right view. This is the upper one. This is the top and this is the bottom. Create a circle and some lines. I create another circle. And here, add a symmetric constraint between these lines and the center line. Give it an angle of 120 degrees. And the other angle is 240 I want to have. This circle is 20 millimeters and the other one 25. Well, let's set it to 35. And now let's go back to the cut component, create a sketch on the top plane. And just project these geometries. And here we'll add an offset line, negative 1.5 millimeters, because the notch has a overall width of 3 millimeters and the offset of 1.5, then the middle axis of my notch will be on this line and will collide with my top component over here. Let's do this as well with the other line, 1.5. And create, excuse me, the wrong sketch. Create another circle with a distance from here. This is our outer edge of the knob, and I want to be sure that the cutout doesn't look underneath this knob. Set it to 1 millimeter. Now we have a profile. This one and this one. And the direction, set it to 2 sides. 1 millimeter upwards to cut the transparent or the clear layer, and 2 millimeter downwards to cut the top component of our panel. Set it to join. Hit OK. Yeah, but there's still something missing because our knob is too large. It's not a problem. Go back to the sketch and create a projected geometry. of our knob. And go back to the last extrusion and add this little profile over here. And to have some more extra space in this region, just create a press pull by 0.25 millimeters. And this is our cut body. Okay, let's have a look. The knob, the potentiometer, the cut body. Then it's time to create the label or the sketch with our labels. For this, go to the main component and create a sketch. On the top face. And here I will reuse this sketch over here because we already created these lines. We will use it as a reference. Let's add some more geometries. Horizontal line over here, and one over here. Let's start with the arrow in the middle. Let's have a look on the fly-by-wire documentation. And here you can see there's this arrow around. Let's create this arrow. Create an arc, center point arc, but not as in a construction line. Now first I have to project the curves. Center point arc. Still not able to select this one. Project this as well. And now I'm able to select all the way around. Make sure that it's not a construction line. Just select it. Create an offset of 1 millimeter. And the spacing between this and the knob is 1 millimeter as well. Let's set it to 1.5. And let's create this arrow on the other side. But first let's close the gap over here with a single line. Create a construction line between these two endpoints. And now I'm able to select the center point of this line. Create a perpendicular constraint. And add this arrow profile over here. Add the dimensions, 25 degrees and 1 millimeter. And create a mirror component of these two lines. The mirror line is the center line. And here is my arrow profile. We need some more construction lines. Center line over here. Horizontally. And 2 vertical construction lines. Give it a symmetric constraint to the center line. And now I will create the labels. Go to create, text, title 1, Arial narrow, typeface bold, height is 4 millimeters, and the alignment, align center, align middle. Drag it on the intersection over here and give it an horizontal constraint to this upper line. Create a copy, Control C, Control V. Drag it onto the other intersection. Change it to title number 2 with a height of 3.5. Create a copy. Change the text to BRT for bright. Drag it on the intersection over here. And create another copy. And change the text to off. OK. Drag it on the intersection. Add some dimensions. .5 and the spacing between these two lines 30 from the center to the lower construction line. It's 15, and between these two lines it's 5.5. Hit OK. And here are the profiles for the arrow and the labels. And now we are almost finished with the design of our potentiometer template. Let's check our work, create a new design file. Open the data panel and open up the templates and drag in a panel template. Of course, save the potentiometer, it's very important. And now drag in this potentiometer. Create a sketch on the panel. Create a circle and create a joint between the lower circle of my knob and this one. The knob is already in place, hit OK. And here you can see that just the knob is in the new position. And the reason behind this is because I haven't set all the subcomponents as ground to parent. That's very important. Save it. Let's try it again. Update. And now everything is in place. This looks much better. Yeah, here you can see the cut body has to be a little bit more in the Z- direction. Go back to cut and just drag this face with a press pull 20 millimeters. Save it. update, and here is the cut body. Perfect. I don't have to save it. Make the top component active. Make all the sketches you don't need invisible and save it. And now the design of the potentiometer template is finished and we are able to build up the next panel. We are at the end of this video. I hope you liked it. If you do, please give it a thumbs up. We designed the template for our potentiometer, and the next step is to build a panel out of it that we are able to dim our backlight of the panels. This will be part of the next episode. We will create this little panel. If you have any questions or comments, please put them in the comment section below. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe to the channel, hit the bell, and see you in the next video.